Rachel Reeves' tax move. Right, so picture this: you're Rachel Reeves, sitting in the Treasury, calculator in one hand, aspirin in the other, staring at Britain's finances like they're a particularly challenging Sudoku puzzle written in disappearing ink. The autumn budget's looming, the country's skint, and everyone's got opinions about how to fix it. Well, buckle up, buttercups, because Anneliese Dodds just lobbed a political grenade into the mix, and it's about to get spicy. Welcome back to UK Daily Coffee, where we serve up British politics stronger than your morning brew and twice as bitter. I'm your host, and today we're diving into why Rachel Reeves is being told to reach deeper into Britain's pockets than a pickpocket at Piccadilly Circus. And trust me, this story's got more twists than a politician's campaign promises. So here's the tea, and it's piping hot. Anneliese Dodds, former Shadow Chancellor and someone who knows her way around a balance sheet better than most of us know our way to the local Tesco, has essentially told Rachel Reeves to stop tiptoeing around the tax question like it's a sleeping dragon. She wants an open conversation about taxation. Because apparently, subtlety is dead and we're all about having uncomfortable conversations at dinner parties now. Now, for those playing along at home, Anneliese Dodds isn't just some random backbencher shouting into the void. This is a woman who used to hold the Shadow Chancellor role under Keir Starmer, which is like being the understudy to Hamlet. You know all the lines, you've done the prep work, and you're just waiting for your moment in the spotlight. She served as International Development Minister until February, when she decided to quit faster than you can say a foreign aid budget cuts. And why did she quit? Well, here's where it gets juicy. Dodds threw in the towel because Starmer decided to slash the foreign aid budget to fund defense spending increases. It's like robbing Peter to pay Paul, except Peter was trying to help developing nations and Paul really wants some shiny new military equipment. Dodds wasn't having it, so she walked. Fair play to her, really, at least she stuck to her principles, which is rarer in politics than a sincere apology. But here's where Dodds gets clever, like a chess grandmaster who's been thinking 17 moves ahead while everyone else is still trying to remember which piece is the horse. Instead of just moaning about the defense spending increase, she's suggesting Rachel Reeves should amend her fiscal rules to allow for higher defense spending without gutting other departments. It's like saying, hey, instead of stealing from the charity jar to buy security cameras, maybe we should just get more money for both. Her logic is actually quite sound, if you think about it. She's essentially saying, look, there are big scary things happening in the world that are completely out of our control, and that means we need to spend more on keeping ourselves safe. But rather than playing financial Jenga with government departments, maybe we should have an honest chat with the public about raising more revenue. And when she says those with the broadest shoulders should take more responsibility, she's not talking about gym enthusiasts or professional rugby players. She's talking about the wealthy, the mega-rich, the people who have so much money they probably use £50 notes as bookmarks. Now, here's where things get really interesting, like finding out your quiet neighbor has been secretly running a multinational corporation from their garden shed. Dodds stops just short of explicitly calling for a wealth tax, but she does something even more intriguing. She tells the Treasury to look carefully at the work of economist Arun Advani. And let me tell you, when a former Shadow Chancellor tells you to look carefully at someone's work, that's about as subtle as a brick through a window. Arun Advani has written extensively about one-off levies on millionaire households to raise revenue. Think of it as a special tax on people who have more money than they know what to do with. It's like a Netflix subscription, but instead of getting access to mediocre romantic comedies and true crime documentaries, society gets funding for public services. Revolutionary concept, I know. This idea has been bouncing around Labour circles like a ping-pong ball at a particularly energetic tournament. The problem is, everyone's arguing about the details. Should it be on assets? Earnings? A combination of both? It's like trying to agree on pizza toppings for a group order, except instead of arguing about pineapple, they're debating the fundamental structure of wealth redistribution. But wait, there's more drama. Critics of the wealth tax idea have rolled out their favorite boogeyman, capital flight. They argue that if you tax wealthy people too much, they'll pack up their Louis Vuitton luggage and relocate to somewhere more tax-friendly, taking their investments and job-creating powers with them. It's the economic equivalent of threatening to run away from home because your parents won't let you eat ice cream for dinner. The fear is that Britain would end up like that friend who gets too clingy in a relationship and ends up driving everyone away. Except instead of losing friends, we'd be losing millionaires, their businesses, and the employment they create. It's a valid concern, sort of like worrying that your diet will fail because cake exists. Even within the current government, there's disagreement about wealth taxes. Earlier this year, Business Secretary Jonathan Reynolds dismissed proposals for an annual 2% tax on assets over £10 million as daft. That's political speak for absolutely not happening on my watch, delivered with all the diplomatic finesse of a diplomatic sledgehammer. It's worth noting that £10 million is the kind of money most of us can't even properly conceptualize. It's like trying to imagine the distance to Mars. You know it's really, really far, but your brain just sort of gives up and goes, yeah, that's a big number. For context, if you earned £50,000 a year and saved every single penny without spending a quid on food, shelter, or Netflix, it would take you 200 years to accumulate £10 million. So we're not exactly talking about taxing your local small business owner here. But here's where Dodds shows her experience and pragmatism, like a seasoned chef who knows that adding too much salt will ruin the entire dish. She's quick to point out that there's no silver bullet for Britain's financial woes. She's been cautious about claims that any single tax change could magically inject enormous amounts of money into government coffers without consequences. It's refreshing honesty in a world where politicians usually promise the moon, stars, and a personal unicorn if you vote for them. She acknowledges that whatever they do, there will be consequences. It's like admitting that every action has an equal and opposite reaction, except we're talking about economics instead of physics, and the reactions usually involve angry headlines and strongly worded letters to the editor. The timing of all this is particularly interesting, considering we're heading toward the autumn budget. Rachel Reeves is basically being told to make some pretty significant decisions about Britain's financial future while everyone watches and offers helpful suggestions from the sidelines. It's like trying to parallel park while your entire extended family shouts conflicting directions at you. The pressure on Reeves is immense. She's got to balance the books, fund defense increases, maintain public services, and keep the economy ticking along nicely, all while avoiding scaring off wealthy residents and investors. It's like being asked to juggle flaming torches while riding a unicycle on a tightrope, except the torches are made of taxpayer money and the safety net below is made of public opinion polls. What makes this whole situation even more complex is the broader economic context. Britain's dealing with the aftermath of various global crises, inflation concerns, and the ongoing challenges of maintaining competitiveness in a rapidly changing world economy. It's like trying to fix a leaky roof during a hurricane while your neighbor's house is also on fire. The defense spending angle adds another layer of complexity. When Dodds talks about forces outside our country's control impacting on our security, she's referring to the increasingly unstable global situation. It's a polite way of saying the world's gone a bit mad and Britain needs to spend more money on keeping itself safe. The question is whether that money comes from cutting other programs or finding new revenue sources. The political implications of all this are fascinating. If Labour goes ahead with some form of wealth tax, they'll face accusations of class warfare and economic vandalism from the opposition. If they don't, they'll face criticism from their own supporters for not being bold enough in addressing inequality. It's a classic political no-win situation, like being asked to choose between tea and coffee when you're trying to give up caffeine. What's particularly clever about Dodds' approach is that she's framing this as a matter of honesty and openness with the public. She's essentially saying, look, we all know the country needs more money, so let's stop pretending otherwise and have an adult conversation about how to get it. It's refreshingly straightforward in a political environment where straightforwardness is often as rare as hen's teeth. The reference to broadest shoulders carrying more responsibility is classic Labour rhetoric, but it's also economically sound. Progressive taxation, where those who can afford to pay more do pay more, is a cornerstone of most modern tax systems. The debate is usually about degree rather than principle. As we head toward the autumn budget, all eyes will be on Rachel Reeves to see how she navigates these competing pressures. Will she take Dodds' advice and explore new revenue sources? Will she stick with spending cuts and fiscal restraint? Or will she find some clever middle ground that nobody's thought of yet? The truth is, whatever decision Reeves makes will have long-term implications for Britain's economic future. It's the kind of decision that gets remembered in history books, usually with the benefit of hindsight that makes everyone an expert on what should have been done differently. So there you have it, folks, the latest chapter in Britain's ongoing financial drama, served up with a side of political intrigue and a generous helping of economic uncertainty. Anneliese Dodds has thrown down the gauntlet, Rachel Reeves has some serious thinking to do, and the rest of us get to watch it all unfold like the world's most expensive reality TV show. What do you think? Should Britain introduce a wealth tax, or would it be economic suicide? Are the wealthy already paying their fair share, or should those broad shoulders carry a bit more weight? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and remember to subscribe to UK Daily Coffee for your daily dose of British political chaos. Because let's face it, with the way things are going, there's always going to be another crisis brewing by tomorrow morning. Until then, keep your politics strong and your coffee stronger.